creators, and welcome to my YouTube channel. And welcome to day 4 of the Spellbinders April 2026 All Clubs Create series. Today I'm going to be using the small die of the month, and this is the Pansy Seed Co. die set. So this one will make you these beautiful flowers, and there's some more flowers. Oh, they're there. You can see them right there. And they're just gorgeous pansies. And then you also get this like a flower pot in there and this border, this zigzag border. So I die cut and prepped all my pieces ahead of time. Well, most of my pieces. And what I've decided to do, let me show you, is I cut a bunch of this zigzag border out of white cardstock, and then I went and ink blended over half of them. So this one, let's see, I used my Gina K ink. So I used Cherry Red, Tangerine Twist for my orange, Marigold for my yellow, Kelly Green for my green, Blue Raspberry, Tranquil Teal, Wild Lilac, and Petunia. So those are the colors I used. And then I also kept some in white because I'm going to kind of crisscross them. At first I thought I could put them this way where they just layered like this, but the end pieces don't exactly layer up right. So then I thought, well, let me just intertwine them, which is what I've landed on doing, and I kind of like the look that gives. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to just attach them to this black card panel I have, and then I'll die cut it from there using this stitched arches die that I had in my stash. Now I'll be sure to link to everything I'm using in the description box below, as long as it's still available, of course. And then for my pansies, because I'm doing all of this rainbow of color with white, I thought it would be fun to do the pansies and the flower pot in black and some holographic papers that I had in my stash. So I cut a bunch of the layers and the leaves and everything out of those papers so that I could assemble those. But first I want to put together my panel. So I think that's what I'm going to focus on first. So I'm going to go ahead and use my ATG here to kind of help keep these two pieces together, because I'm having to kind of squish them together there. And then lay that out on my card panel. Now when I run this through the die machine to cut out that arch shape, it'll press everything in even more, which will kind of ensure that this stays together. But that's what I plan to do. So just intertwining them kind of back and forth, back and forth. And I could put glue here underneath, but I think once they're intertwined and laid on the card panel with my ATG, I think they'll stay together just fine. So let me play a little bit of music while I put these border pieces together and die cut them for my panel. There we have my piece all assembled and die cut. I love the way it looks. So now let me get my flowers all assembled, and then I'll put the flowers on my panel and we'll finish our card. Okay, friends, I have all my pieces assembled, I think. So let's go ahead and put our card together. Now, this die set, it is gorgeous. Now, but there are some fiddly little bits and pieces. But once you kind of figure out how to get them placed on there, I think it's just well worth the time and effort to get them placed and get the beautiful flowers put together. And then I did put foam squares on the back of my die cut pieces here, and they kind of serve dual purpose. They will not only give this focal point some dimension, but because I overlapped them on pieces that crossed over, like the stems there, they're holding these delicate pieces together. So I think that is very helpful. And then I still have to add a few leaves, but I'll do that once I get my little flower pot placed on here. Be real careful because those stems are very delicate. So I think that's the right placement that I want on here. And then this little bellflower I'll tuck behind this pansy. And I can kind of press down on the flowers. Isn't that pretty? So let me get my leaves and I can add those. Alrighty, friends, I think we're done. What do you think? I left these leaves without any foam tape and kind of curled up. This one does have some foam tape, but I think I'm going to add a second foam square there to kind of give it a little bit more dimension so it pops up a little more. So let me get that on there and then we'll be done. And I thought about, you know, I can add a sentiment from the Stampin' Die of the Month, or I could Glimmer or Better Press a sentiment. But then, you know, I thought, this is so pretty. Maybe I don't want to add a sentiment to this one. So I think I'm going to leave this one without a sentiment and just let the flowers speak for themselves, as well as my rainbow background, right? Isn't that gorgeous? So instead of doing beautiful, colorful flowers, I went with a black and holographic to kind of let my little background colors shine through, and I think I like it. Thanks for sticking around to the end. I'd be thrilled if you subscribe to my YouTube channel or followed me on any of my other social media platforms. As always, have a beautiful, safe, and creative day. Thanks for watching. Bye.